been anticipating for months has just happened. And with the CPI report coming in lower than expected, the Moon Boys have gathered enough juice to bust through the caboose of the baby bears. But do not get too excited just yet. And even though Sam Bubblebutt Freed's exchange FTX has now opened up for withdrawals, is this pump really the beginning? You are not gonna believe this. Absolutely gigantic news that is affecting the crypto space today, as the, in my opinion, biggest macro factor that we've been watching and talking about week after week, month after month, has finally done not only what we said it would, but let's just say an even better version of that. We're going to be talking about that in just seconds here. Make sure to turn to the absolutely time-sensitive alerts. And without any further magoo, let's just dump into this video. So if we take a look first, the SPX is right now closer than ever to having its first breach above the 10-day moving average here on this 10-day chart since back in July when we had the last run-up that brought the SPX to, its biggest bounce basically of this entire recession that literally began the first week of 2022, the first week of January 2022. And as I'm sure many of you already know, today inflation numbers came back a little bit lower than expected. I believe around 7.7%. This is huge for the space. And as we've been talking about, we have come back down to the bottom of this like 1 year long channel right here and now broken below it for the very first time. As you can see here, the DXY has fallen out of this channel. And we've spent a lot of time, the entire year, completely following within it. This gigantic ascending broadening wedgie up to the upside here. We've been following this entire year within this pattern. And now we've finally gotten below it here. And the reason for this is because maybe what today proved is that maybe we are seeing the very first signs that the massive interest rate hikes that we've been seeing are actually maybe slowing down the economy exactly as the Fed is telling us that they want it to. And again, as I've been saying for weeks, with these lower lows on the DXY and now with yet another confirmed lower low right here, and not to mention lower highs along the way, this is our very first real possibility of a breakdown with the DXY. Now, the reason we shouldn't get our hopes up too much is because it doesn't mean the DXY is going to go straight down. Okay, there's definitely going to be bounces. There's definitely going to be fake outs. However, this is very promising for the long term. As we all know, if the DXY starts breaking out of this channel, as it seems to have already begun, that is good for a lot. And as you can see on the SPX, look at this pump today. We've set a new higher high. We have held and made higher lows as well throughout the past couple of weeks. And the stock market is reacting favorably. We're about to get a bullish cross. The last time we got this was back in August. And it was, again, the last strong pump the DXY had. Now, it looks as though we're about to potentially see a few more weeks of upside for the SPX, which very likely would also mean for Bitcoin. Now, the only reason I say very likely is because there is a bigger thing going on. Obviously, it is with Sam Bankman-Fried, FTX, basically, maybe even some tether fear sprinkled in there as well, as always, right? When is there not tether fear sprinkled into everything? But again, with withdrawals opening back up for FTX and them looking for, I believe, like roughly $10 billion to get bailed out, there is some hope. I personally don't like FTX. I've never used it. I've never promoted it. I don't care about it, but I don't want it to destroy the entire space. It is absolutely ridiculous. I believe it was the third largest exchange, and now it is basically evaporated within days. Not a good look for the space, okay? Whether or not you like FTX or not, what happened with FTX is not good for anyone that likes crypto, right? It's not good for anyone. It's a very, very bad look. So as long as some of the billionaires, or at least former billionaires in crypto, can get their act together for like 5 minutes and not ruin everything, then potentially Bitcoin and the crypto market could also take advantage of potentially the inflation slowing down, or maybe looking forward to a 50 basis point hike in December, and maybe pausing or just even slower hikes in the beginning of 2023, ultimately then pausing and maybe pivoting as well. So good signs there. But with that, we are seeing the market have a nice move up because that is positive. That's primarily the case here. And so take advantage of over $16,000 in trading bonuses below, specifically as well as 0 fees on all spot pairs with BITGET, and as well a $100 promotion going on right now using the link below when you sign up and deposit. But again, over $16,000 in deposit bonuses with those 3 exchanges below. Also, I have been trading this move. In fact, I went aggressively long yesterday. I pretty much scrounged up every little penny. Again, I don't like talking about this because I don't want to influence other people to do the exact same thing that I'm doing. I'm attempting to long basically this dumpage because it is a very big event that brought these prices down in crypto. FTX already collapsed. It can't collapse again, right? That's already an event that happened. There are other worse things that could happen, potentially something with like USDT or something. However, in my opinion, this type of move, again, I personally think that we should at least see some relief, some bouncing after such a cataclysmic event. So again, I'm very interested in trying to trade this, which is what I'm doing right now. It's very risky, again, which is why I don't like talking about it too much. And also interestingly here, miners are getting destroyed. Many Bitcoin miners are now turning their rigs off. And you can see the last time we saw levels similar to this capitulation was back around March of 2020. Again, another indication that this is the final capitulation, that this has to be the bottom soon. Apparently the 17K was not the bottom. We ended up going all the way down into the $15,000 range because of what happened with FTX. Again, this situation, though, is not resolved. Like, that's the whole thing. FTX, their whole situation is not resolved. So, again, it's still too early to say that this dump's completely over, clearly. However, I'm saying it looks as though in the short term it's possible that this is very close, and maybe we'll go back down and revisit 15 again or something over the next week. The point is, the downward pressure being put on this market is very lopsided. There should be immense pressure now to the upside. And quite frankly, the fact that Bitcoin didn't even collapse to 10K based on what happened, the third largest exchange, the most literally, I didn't care for FTX. I never used them. I never trusted them, but they were considered one of the most trustworthy exchanges, period. And the fact that it took less than 48 hours for them to completely evaporate billions and billions of dollars, you would think that would have a bigger impact on the market. It absolutely messed up the market. But a couple $1,000s more down, you would think this would be like a doomsday scenario. I do want to make clear the situation, as I just said, is not over in my opinion. I still think, we're not out of the woods in terms of this situation specifically with FTX and their impact on the market. But how many cataclysmic events can we have in 6 months? It's been debatably the craziest bear market anyone's ever witnessed. It absolutely is crazier than 2017 and 2018. Okay, that's for sure. Is it crazier than Mount Gox or something like that? I think that's maybe up for debate. However, it's definitely in like the top 2 craziest 6-month periods of Bitcoin in terms of absolute dumpiness confirmed. But now, with this being said, again, longer term, I think this is going to have a much better effect on crypto. As we see, maybe the DXY start collapsing here. As we see the inflation maybe is being tamed a little bit. We're seeing evidence of that maybe. That is such a good sign that overall, in a macro environment, is much more important than a cryptocurrency exchange going bankrupt. It's going to happen, right? We already saw it with 3AC. We saw it with Celsius. We see it. And we're going to keep seeing it. Whether or not it's more this bear market or maybe it's next bear market, there's always going to be exchanges that are going to go out of business because of their CEOs, their owners carelessly throwing around funds and doing very most likely illegal things. That's going to keep happening. However, the macro environment here is starting to look a lot better potentially, and that's all you can ask for, really. This basically, in my opinion, was the best news we could have gotten today, given the environment and given the circumstances of crypto right now. Make sure to like, share, turn on the miss the absolute time-sensitive alerts. Take advantage of our $16,000 in deposit bonuses below. With BitGet, you can receive $50 free simply by signing up, and as well, ByBit, $100 promotion going on below as well. Just click the links in the description below to take advantage.